Okay, so here's a thought. It might sound a bit backwards, maybe,
Go on.
but what if the future of AI coding isn't really in those, super sleek cloud IDEs?
Okay, where then?
Right there in your terminal.
Ah, the command line. Interesting.
Exactly. That's the surprising idea we're really diving into today. We've looked at sources like the Antinomy Forge podcast script, and it shines a light on this really fascinating, almost quiet revolution happening.
Hmm.
Our mission really is to unpack why this super unassuming place, the command line, is suddenly becoming the new frontier for AI-assisted coding.
And what that means, yeah, for productivity, privacy,
Oh,
all of it.
all of it. Developer agency, too.
And what's really striking here, it's not just a feeling or, tech nostalgia kicking in.
Right.
This shift is actually being driven by some pretty surprising data. There's recent research, specifically a study by METR, that's Microsoft External Team Research.
Okay.
And it showed that popular AI tools like Cursor, for example, can actually make experienced developers, get this, 19% slower.
Wow.
19% slower. Which is, yeah, it's a bit of a bombshell, especially when those exact same developers feel like they're working 20, even 30% faster.
That's a huge disconnect.
It really is. It creates this real trust crisis, productivity paradox, right at the heart of adopting AI.
Okay, so if there's this huge gap between feeling fast and being fast,
Yeah.
what are developers doing? Just ditching AI?
Well, that's the clever part. They're not throwing it out.
Yeah.
No, what we're seeing is, well, honestly, it's quite ingenious.
Right.
Brilliant developers are kind of going back to basics. They're building AI assistants that work exactly where, let's be honest, the real development often happens.
The command line.
The command line.
Yeah.
And a prime example of this, really a catalyst, is Antinomy Forge.
Antinomy Forge.
Yeah, it's this AI coding agent built in Rust, supports over 300 different models, keeps your code local.
Which is huge.
Huge. And it really proves that sometimes the best innovation isn't about adding more complexity, it's knowing what not to reinvent.
That's a great point.
And if you look at the bigger picture, this isn't some small niche thing.
Right.
It feels more like a great migration, you could say. Since February 2025, basically every major AI player, Anthropic, Google DeepMind, OpenAI, they've all released terminal-based coding tools
All of them.
in that time frame.
Yep. TechCrunch even called it a shift to a surprising place.
Huh. Although, maybe for developers who are already spending like half their day in the terminal, maybe it's not that surprising. More like common sense.
That could be it, too.
Because the philosophy here, the one Antinomy Forge embodies, it feels incredibly practical.
Yeah.
Like, meet developers where they already are. Don't force them into some whole new environment.
Offer choice.
Offer choice, exactly,
Right.
instead of vendor lock-in. And maybe most importantly, privacy. Keep the code local, not somewhere up in the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
So before we dig deeper, just think for a second about your own habits. You, the listener. How much of your dev time is terminal versus IDE? Because honestly, your answer probably predicts how you'll feel about this whole trend. And to really get why these terminal AI tools are suddenly gaining so much ground, we do need to face that uncomfortable truth about productivity.
The METR study again.
The MPTAR study, yeah. It was a collaborative effort, Microsoft and others, and it really dropped a bombshell finding. Experienced devs using Cursor Pro, which is a very popular AI tool.
Yeah, I know it.
They actually work 19% slower compared to not using AI help.
Still can't quite get over that number.
And the kicker, they perceive themselves as being 20 to 30% faster.
Okay, I have to admit, when I first heard that 19% slower figure, I immediately started second-guessing all those times I felt super productive using an AI assistant. It's a real gut punch.
It is.
You have this tool making you feel amazing, like you're crushing it, hitting all these dopamine buttons,
Yeah.
while secretly it's actually kind of sabotaging your real output. That's more than just a performance issue. That feels like a genuine trust crisis.
Absolutely.
It explains so much of that sort of vague frustration I think developers have been feeling, but maybe couldn't quite pin down.
That's a really key observation. And what's insightful is digging into why. A lot of it seems to boil down to workflow disruptions.
How so?
Well, the problems with those, let's call them traditional AI coding tools, they become pretty clear when you see how they interfere with the developer's natural flow. Things like
Constantly switching windows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Constant context switching between your IDE and the AI suggestions. Then there's the risk of over-reliance, where maybe your own problem-solving skills start to degrade a bit over time.
Yeah.
Plus, you get these black box decisions from the AI, where you don't fully grasp why it suggested that a particular code.
Reducing your own understanding.
Right. And then, of course, there's the big one, vendor lock-in, limiting your choice of models, your flexibility.
Okay, so these tools, they're creating this trust issue, this friction. What was the next logical step then? Did developers just give up on AI?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Because this research, the METR findings, it basically created an opening for companies like Warp and these other terminal-based alternatives. Developers started asking, hang on, what if the problem isn't the AI itself, but where we're trying to use it?
Right, the environment.
Exactly. And Warp's CEO, Zach Lloyd, he completely nailed it. He said something like, the terminal occupies a very low level in the developer stack.
Oh.
So it's the most versatile place to be running agents.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Terminal tools can handle deployment, database stuff, system admin tasks, things a code editor just doesn't touch.
That makes a lot of sense. It's closer to the metal, so to speak.
Yeah. And this sparked this fundamental realization. Instead of trying to rebuild our whole development world around AI,
Which seems really complicated.
super complicated, why not just enhance the environment where devs already spend, what, 60, maybe 80% of their time?
Work with their habits, not against them.
Meet them where they are.
Exactly. Okay, so let me ask you, the listener, again. When was the last time you felt an AI tool was genuinely making you faster versus just making you feel faster? That difference, that distinction seems to be what's really driving this whole terminal revolution.
It really does. It feels like the market is finally moving past that initial, maybe slightly over-enthusiastic hype phase.
So what does this mean for the future then? Where does something like Antinomy Forge fit in?
Well, I think Antinomy Forge represents that sort of mature thinking that's coming out of this productivity crisis.
Yep.
Instead of asking, how do we jam AI deeper into everything, they asked a different question. How do we make AI genuinely useful without breaking what already works?
A more practical question.
Much more practical. And Forge, which it's built in Rust, MIT licensed, it really operates on 3 core principles that set it apart.
Okay, what are they?
First, and this is a big one, multi-provider freedom. It supports over 300 different models. We're talking OpenAI, Anthropic, Google Vertex, Grok, Amazon Bedrock.
300.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Which means you are absolutely not locked into one company's AI ecosystem.
Okay, that multi-provider freedom, that sounds like a really big deal compared to other tools. Why is that so critical right now, do you think?
Well, think about it. Most AI coding tools kind of nudge you, or sometimes outright force you, into their preferred model, right?
Yeah, like Claude Code uses Anthropic models. Cursor leans heavily on OpenAI.
Exactly. Forge basically says, look, bring your own API key.
Yeah.
You choose. Pick the best model for whatever specific thing you're trying to do right now.
That's real choice.
And in an AI landscape that's changing so fast, that choice is absolutely paramount. So that's number one. Number two, privacy and local processing.
Ah, the local aspect again.
Your code stays on your machine, period. No sending stuff to the cloud for processing, no worrying about privacy leaks, no wondering if your proprietary algorithms are being used for training data somewhere else.
Which feels almost radical today, doesn't it? When every other tool seems to want to upload your entire project for better assistance.
It does feel radical. But honestly, it's exactly what enterprise developers especially have been crying out for. For security reasons, for IP protection.
Makes total sense. Okay, so freedom of choice, local privacy. What's the third one?
The third is terminal native integration. And this really speaks to the elegance of the design.
Meaning?
Meaning no context switching, no new interface you have to learn. Forge just enhances your existing terminal workflow. It doesn't try to replace it.
Okay, I like the sound of that. The beauty is in the simplicity.
Right. You're already there. In the terminal, you're running Git commands, building your project, managing dependencies.
Doing your actual work.
Doing your work. Forge just slots in, adds AI help seamlessly to that flow you already have. It's like having a quiet, helpful co-pilot right there with you.
Nice.
And the tech details show some really smart engineering choices too.
Like what?
Well, it's Rust-powered, so it's fast, really responsive. It has both interactive and non-interactive modes, for different tasks. It supports Git operations directly, which is great for version control.
Smooth integration.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
And crucially, it supports something called the Model Context Protocol.
Yeah.
MCP.
MCP. What's that?
It's basically a standard that lets different AI tools kind of talk to each other, share context.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it connects Forge into this broader ecosystem of AI tools and services. It allows for more complex stuff like multi-agent workflows, but importantly, it still keeps the developer in the driver's seat.
So here's what strikes me about Forge. While you've got other companies building these incredibly complex, all-encompassing AI development environments,
Trying to be everything.
trying to be everything, Forge's success feels like a masterclass in elegant restraint. Doing less, but doing it better.
That's a perfect way to put it. Sometimes the best innovation really is knowing what not to build.
Yeah. And it's important to remember, Forge isn't doing this in isolation, right? You mentioned the Great Migration. We're seeing a genuine, terminal renaissance in AI tooling.
Oh, absolutely. The pace of new terminal AI tools coming out since, say, early 2025 has been relentless.
Yeah.
Just nonstop.
Yes.
Well, you've got Claude Code from Anthropic, Gemini CLI from Google DeepMind, CLI Codex from OpenAI. Then there's Warp, which is apparently leading the pack in the independent terminal bench rankings.
Terminal bench. A benchmark just for these tools.
Yep, specifically designed to test terminal-based AI assistants. And you also have things like Aider, which is a really popular open source tool, great Git integration.
Okay, so lots of players jumping in. But are they all doing the same thing? Or are there different philosophies here?
Definitely different philosophies. That's what makes the competitive landscape so interesting.
How so?
So, take Claude Code. It's really focused on deep reasoning, handling complex problems. But like I said, it locks you into Anthropic's ecosystem.
Okay.
Then you have Warp. They talk about being an agentic development environment.
Agentic, meaning?
Meaning it's designed to let AI agents take on more autonomous tasks, like achieving a goal you give them. But you could argue Warp is maybe more of a terminal replacement than just an enhancement. It's a whole new terminal experience.
Gotcha. And Aider.
Aider's great, especially its Git integration is fantastic. But its model support is more limited compared to something like Forge. So yeah, a lot of them seem to involve making certain trade-offs.
And Forge's edge, you're saying, is that it refuses to make those same trade-offs.
That seems to be their angle, yeah.
Yeah.
And multi-provider support gives you model choice. The terminal native design means minimal workflow disruption. And the MIT open source license means zero vendor lock-in.
It sounds compelling. Are developers actually buying into this?
Well, TechCrunch reported that for companies like Anthropic and OpenAI, these terminal tools are already some of their most popular products. So, yeah, developers seem to be voting with their command lines.
Huh. And didn't the Stack Overflow survey show something similar?
It did. The 2024 survey found 76% of developers are using or planning to use AI coding assistants. But crucially, growing numbers specifically said they prefer terminal-based workflows, ones that integrate with how they already work, rather than forcing a whole new paradigm on them.
So it really feels like a fundamental shift in strategy for AI tools.
I think so. Moving away from that build everything, replace everything approach of the big AI IDEs.
Towards more thoughtful integration.
Thoughtful integration with existing developer habits. That seems to be the winning formula right now.
Personally, I think we're just seeing the maturation of the whole AI tooling idea.
How do you mean?
Like the first wave was maybe just, wow, AI, let's put it everywhere,
Yeah, spray and pray.
Exactly. And the second wave feels more considered. It's like, okay, let's actually put AI where it genuinely helps without, breaking everything else that already works well. Forge really seems to capture that.
I agree. It's not trying to revolutionize how you code necessarily. It's trying to make how you already code just more effective, more powerful.
So what's your take listening in? Do you lean towards AI tools that want to totally transform your workflow or ones that just enhance your existing habits? The market seems to be giving a pretty clear answer right now.
And what makes this whole terminal AI thing really significant, I think, it isn't just the tech itself. It's what it represents. It touches on bigger themes like developer agency, developer control, especially in a world that's becoming increasingly AI-driven.
That's a really interesting angle. The agency part. Tell me more.
Well, there's this growing concern, backed by some studies now, about over-reliance on AI.
Right. The risk of skills degrading.
Exactly. Developers reporting they feel super productive, but maybe they're actually becoming less capable of solving certain problems entirely on their own.
The tool becomes a crutch.
Potentially. And this is where terminal-based tools like Forge offer a different path. They seem designed to enhance your capabilities, not replace them. You're still the one writing the code, making the architectural calls, understanding the logic.
The AI is assisting, not automating.
Precisely. It's providing assistance, not taking over the whole process.
Which connects back to that bigger, almost philosophical choice we have to make about software development's future, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do we want AI tools that ultimately make us dependent Or do we want tools that make us more capable?
And Forge's design choices seem to clearly vote for capability.
I think so. The multi-model support helps you learn, helps you figure out which AI approach works best for different kinds of problems.
Right.
The local processing keeps you fully in control of your own code, your own data. The terminal integration means your existing skills and workflows are valued, they're preserved.
And the open source license means you're never locked in.
Never locked into some proprietary solution.
Yeah.
There's a kind of technical sovereignty aspect here, too.
How so?
Well, when your main development tools are closed source, cloud dependent, vendor locked, you're basically just renting your ability to develop software.
Never thought of it quite like that. Renting your capabilities.
Whereas Forge and tools like it, they offer ownership, control. And we're seeing this reflected in broader industry trends.
Yeah.
Developers who maybe initially jumped on the cloud-first, vendor-specific AI tools, many are now actively looking for alternatives, ones that give them back some autonomy, some flexibility.
And enterprises too, presumably.
Oh, absolutely. Enterprise adoption patterns are showing a clear preference now for tools that prioritize local processing, transparent operation, vendor flexibility,
Yeah.
often over just raw cloud convenience. Security and control are paramount.
So looking ahead, it feels like these terminal-based AI tools like Forge, they could represent a more sustainable path for AI-assisted development.
I think that's a good word for it. Sustainable. They enhance human skills without creating crippling dependency. They integrate without massive disruption. They preserve developer agency while still delivering powerful AI help.
And you mentioned that MCP thing, the Model Context Protocol. That seems like it could unlock even more potential down the road.
Definitely. As MCP gets adopted more widely across different AI tools, you could see these terminal assistants becoming sort of coordination hubs
Hubs for what?
for complex multi-agent workflows. Imagine different specialized AIs collaborating on a task, but all orchestrated from your terminal with you still firmly in control, guiding the overall process.
Okay, that's a pretty cool vision, keeping the human in the loop, but leveraging multiple AIs.
Exactly. It really reflects, I think, that broader maturation we talked about.
Yeah.
The first wave of AI was maybe AI does everything for us.
Yeah, the automation dream.
This second wave feels more like AI helps us do everything better.
A more collaborative vision. So, final question for you listening. Where do you see this trend going? Are terminal-based AI tools going to become the main way we do AI-assisted coding? Or do you think, ultimately, the tight IDE integration will win out? Your gut feeling on that probably says a lot about which tools you'll end up adopting yourself.
It's the big question.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, it seems pretty clear that this terminal AI revolution, it's not really about nostalgia for the command line, is it?
No, not at all. It's a much deeper recognition, I think.
Yeah.
A recognition that the most effective AI tools are the ones that enhance how and where developers already work effectively.
Instead of forcing them into entirely new ways of doing things.
Exactly. Tools like Antinomy Forge, they seem to be tackling real-world problems that maybe some of the flashier traditional AI tools haven't fully addressed.
Like that gap between feeling productive and actually being
A
productive.
huge gap, yeah. And the choice between becoming more capable versus becoming dependent. The freedom to choose your tools versus being locked into one vendor.
It really does signal a crucial maturing in how we think about AI in the whole development process.
Definitely.
So we'd love to hear from you. Have you actually tried Antinomy Forge or maybe other command line AI tools? How do they stack up against the IDE-based assistants in your day-to-day workflow? Drop your real-world experiences in the comments below. We really want to hear them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I'm kicking around ideas for a hands-on series, really testing these different approaches side by side. You know, IDE tools versus terminal tools versus maybe some hybrid workflows. What would you want to see compared? What kinds of tasks would give the most realistic picture of where each one shines or where it falls short? Let us know that too.
That would be fascinating.
And hey, for the developers listening, if you're curious about Forge specifically, remember it's MIT licensed, it's out there on GitHub, and that bring your own key model means you can test drive it with whichever AI provider you already use or prefer with no upfront commitment or lock-in.
Worth checking out.
Definitely. And please share this deep dive with any other developers you know who are maybe grappling with the promises versus the actual reality of AI coding tools right now.
Yeah, because this whole paradigm shift, it just reminds us that true innovation, sometimes, it lies in that thoughtful enhancement, not always in radical replacement.
That's a great final thought. Sometimes the most revolutionary thing you can do is simply meet people where they already are